Hello, it's ignorant, dumb Welsh motherfucker with a big attitude problem .com here to bring you some attitudinal fucking comments about life this week. I, I've seen a little bit of television lately. Mostly, I must say, to my dismay. It just doesn't get any better. You know, I haven't had a television for 15 years. But because my computer system has been playing up, I have got a little bit bored because I haven't got anything to watch. So I did actually bother to put the telly on. And basically, very, 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 very shit. So I saw an advert on for IBM Smart Cloud, whatever that is. And I fucking hate adverts. I mean, it's literally like, I will turn off the channel, turn it over, just fucking go, that's it, no, enough, and fucking just turn the telly off, when the adverts come on, and then go off and do something else. They fucking adverts piss me off so fucking much. Anyway, this advert for Smart Cloud came on, and it's like, oh, yeah, Smart Cloud, everybody. You need to be an IBM Smart Cloud, because if you're an IBM Smart Cloud, then your computing is all taken care of. And it's like, oh, right, okay. So what is a fucking Smart Cloud? Well, basically what it is you not having a computer that runs the software that you use. You get somebody else's computer millions of miles away to do the running of the software for you, and then you access it remotely across the internet, which is fucking great if you've got really fast motherfucking broadband. For the rest of the world, it doesn't have super duper same speed both ways broadband, which we don't get in the UK because we're not allowed to have things that would allow us to broadcast large amounts of data. That would be like broadcasting television, wouldn't it? And we're not allowed to have that. So why the fuck is IBM advertising this on TV in the middle of programs for the general public, when it's a service that probably most of them won't use? Question mark. So, I'm thinking to myself, well, that's really nice of IBM, isn't it, to give a free service called Smart Cloud where they'll actually do all the service providing for you, and all you have to do is tell them what you want to process and they'll process it. Oh no, of course, you gotta fucking pay for it, haven't you? So no, it's not fucking free, you gotta pay for it. So what can you do with this amazing Smart Cloud service? Well, let's go and have a look, I thought, and let's find out just how much this motherfucker's going to cost you. Well, it turns out that it's got Red Hat Linux, it's got Windows Server, it's got this server, that server, SUSE Linux server, server, and no Apple operating system, no Windows XP, no Windows 7, no Windows Vista. So yet again, I have to ask the question, why the fuck is IBM advertising this in the middle of primetime television to an audience that just aren't, for one, fucking interested, aren't, for two, fucking able to run software that means anything to them on this fucking service that you're advertising anyway, and three, how much does it cost? Well, if we was to run a copy of Red Hat Linux, which, by the way, is free. It's a free. You can have Red Hat Linux. It's free. Doesn't cost any money. So you could run this on a little old computer in your house yourself, right? But to run Red Hat Linux on their cloud server will cost you £53 a month. Now, I'm thinking to myself, hang on, if I was going to run this fucking software, I think I'd run it on my own machine, because then there's no broadband required, no fucking lag, and it sits on your machine, so you own it, Now, if anyone can tell me any fucking reason, right, why a member of the general public would run that fucking software, yeah, and why it means so much to IBM to put an advert on saying, be part of the smart cloud, right? If anyone can tell me that one fucking reason why that would be of use to 99.999% of people on this fucking planet, enough to put a big fucking advert on television, I would be interested to know. Okay, second thing, my pet hate, Apple Macs. Oh, Apple have released the Ipad 3. So you know that what that's going to mean, isn't it? You know what that's going to mean? It's going to mean a whole new level of bullshit about how the Apple Ipad 3 just blows the iPad 2 away, and oh, you haven't still got an iPad 1, have you? You fucking retard. Yeah. Oh, so Ipad 3. Yeah, it's like, oh, what are they going to do now? Are they going to give it out with standard 32 gigs or standard 64 gigs? Or maybe they might even make ones that have got 128 gigs or, solid state device 250 gigs? No, there's not actually a lot of difference between the Ipad 3 and the Ipad 2. But apparently, Apple's new cunt at the top, you know, the man that has his fanny here, hello, I am the new representative, flappity flap, of Apple. Look at my flaps where my mouth should be. Right? That motherfucking knobster thought, well, I've got to get in the same style as Mr. Steve Jobs and show people that I mean business. So he says in the press conference they have, which I believe is held in San Francisco, he said the following: Ipad 3, this is gonna be the death of the PC. It is gonna be the right. I'll say it again, right? Ipad 3, this is gonna be the death of the PC. Where do I begin with the fucking stupidity of that statement? Well, I might start with the obvious, right? For those of you that don't know, right? Because some people who own Apples don't seem to have an appreciation of the world outside their fucking window, you know? It's like, I'm sure when you've got an iPad or an iPhone, this is the limit of your fucking world. It's like, I have an iPhone. I have an iPhone. I have an iPhone. I've just been run over by a car. I wish I hadn't been looking at my iPhone and actually been looking at the world outside, and I wouldn't be fucking flattened by 10-ton truck's fucking wheels right now. But the point being, Apple users don't really appreciate that there is a fucking world out there, and guess what that world is? PC. Apple has an 8% market share. Does that mean they won? Did they win? Did they win? Are they the winners? Are they the big choice? Are they the choice of most people out there? Did they take over the planet when I wasn't looking? No, they didn't. And if they didn't take over the planet, and the iPad is then not the fucking winner. So if this is the end of the PC, is that end coming soon? Will it be like, in the next 10 minutes? Or maybe by next month when you've got a few sales? Or maybe by next year, is it Apple? It'll be the death of the PC. Well, I tell you what, the iPad 1 didn't fucking make it the death of the PC. The iPad 2 didn't make it the death of the PC. And you can bet your fucking bottom fucking dick flap that the Apple Ipad 3 is not going to be the death of the PC. And do you know why it won't be the fucking death of the PC? Because nobody fucking likes Apple apart from the wankers. So, there we go. But apparently their new twat of marketing has said that it's the death of the PC. Really? Well, hey buddy, it isn't a PC. Don't have a fucking keyboard. Yeah, can't connect anything into it, especially memory or a battery. So I don't think it's going to be the death of the PC anytime soon. I can't exactly see typists sitting in an office in front of an iPad going, well, I can see them going like this, with one hand and doing a lot of this. Delete, 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 delete. Oh shit, delete, delete, delete. Oh, delete, delete, delete. Oh, delete, delete, delete. I can see them doing a lot of that, but do you know what? I don't see it killing the PC anytime soon. But there we go. Expect lawsuits from Apple pretty soon as well, claiming that everyone has stole their technology for the Ipad3. That's their usual next thing, is like, we've got a new product. What can we sue people with? New product, must sue, gets us lots of attention. Look, the iPad was invented in 1960, and it came before everything else, and therefore we should sue the world for all computers because the iPad was invented by Apple in the 1930s, and therefore everything, including motor technology and televisions, belongs to Apple. And yeah, those types of lawsuits that Apple so much loves to fucking pull out of the hat and never seems to actually get into court for some reason. Always seem to just fizzle out before actually going into court. Yes, great. I see Michael Portillo is making a comeback on television. For anyone who doesn't know, failed fucking political prick of the highest order. The type of cunt that everybody wanted to see fucking decimated. The type of idiot that if he died tomorrow, in a horrible fucking, petrol poured over his head and set on fire type scenario, that not many people in the UK would actually give a fuck. Yeah, this is the type of guy that Michael Portillo is. Yeah, but he was hounded out of fucking politics. He was told, you just aren't liked, Michael. Get the fuck out. And he was like, well, I'll resign and then I'll get out of politics. Then you fucking... And then, slowly and surely, the fucking pandering twats that make up British politics said, oh, we're going to get Michael back, because we want him back, even though the public don't want him, and we're going to get him back, we're going to make him popular again, we're going to make him popular. So he now appears on television programmes, even though everybody thinks he's a fucking complete minging, snobby twat. Right? There he is on British television, and guess what? He's also making his play into American television. Wow. Because they won't know him in America, so they won't hate him so much. And they'll think, oh, isn't he quaint with his posh little voice? And yes, well, I'm Michael Portillo, and I'm from Britain. And don't you like me? Don't you like me? Well, to be honest, it's fucking sickening, isn't it? Right? It's really fucking sickening that when somebody is told pretty much by a large proportion of the UK population to go fuck themselves, that they don't understand that means fuck off. Yeah? So, he's appearing on this program called Great British Railway Journeys. And it's like, what the fuck has Michael Portillo got to do with British Railway Journeys? Get the fuck out. And then there's this program called Ice Dogs, right? Apparently it was shot years ago. And there's this bloke who goes out fucking with his ice dogs. Yeah, well, not actually fucking with his ice dogs. I don't know, maybe that too. I mean, but we don't get to see that bit on the show. Anyway, he goes out with these ice dogs, like Malamutes, like, Cassie. And they take them off into the wandering fucking wilds where, if you spend too long without, outdoors, you probably end up dead. So, he goes to these sort of far-flung places with these dogs, and basically, it's supposed to be shot without any camera crew. And me personally, I can't believe that. I know he says that it was shot just with himself, and I can't believe it because 90% of the program is made up with shots of him going past, and distant shots of him coming towards the camera, and shots, and scenery and panning around, and there is no way that this guy filmed all of that. Okay? So basically, what is the program then? Is the program real or is the program fake? Well, no, I think what the program actually is a bunch of clips which he has taken with his little camera, his little shitty camera. God knows how he gets the battery power for the camera. Was he carrying around a fucking stack of lithium-ion batteries? Is he? Oh, right, okay. And where'd you charge those up? Yeah. And lithium ions don't work very well out in the cold, especially in like minus 20 to minus 40 degrees. But we won't go into that because somehow he's got a working camera that works in sub-zero temperatures all the time, which he carries around by himself with no support crew. And even then, he manages to set the camera up, then run his dogs past the camera. Then he must stop the dogs, get off, move the camera, and he keeps doing that again and again and again and again and again and again. I'm sorry, this guy is a fucking dildo, right? If he thinks that, that's a good thing to be stopping the dogs and getting out and fucking setting up his camera and driving it past on his own. I just can't believe the guy would actually do that. It's like a one-man camera crew. I mean, it's fucking knobbish beyond belief, really. It's like me going out with my car and like stopping by the side of the road and setting up a tripod and then driving my car past my camera and then sort of like, and then stop and then reversing and then getting out and putting the camera in the back of the car. And it's like, you do not do that shit when you're out and about doing stuff. Yeah. But apparently this guy does. So, scenarios where like he's lost his dogs. He doesn't know where his dogs are. And it's like, but geezer, maybe if you were concentrating more on where your fucking dogs were instead of setting up your bastard camera in order to film you walking across the tundra and then walking back and collecting your camera and then walking a little bit further and then pretending like you're falling over and stuff in front of the camera and going, ooh, where are my dogs? I'll have to sleep somewhere else tonight. It's like, for fuck's sake, I can't believe there's no camera crew doing this shit, because that's why you lost your fucking dogs, you melon head. You lost your fucking dogs because you're twatting around with a camera so fucking much. You're not taking any notice of what you're actually doing with your bloody your journey. And it's like, why do programs have to feature, so many frigging ice journeys? A journey to the edge of the world, journey to Iceland, ice dogs, dog pack, like fucking it's quite fucking boring, actually. I think. I mean, there was even a show called the Earth's Orbit or something like that, or the planet's orbit, and it really pisses me off when you see these fucking BBC presenters going from one side of the planet to the back, forwards, backwards, up, down, all across the fucking planet, back, forward, up, down, and it's like they got fucking helicopters, they got fucking scuba gear, they got fucking cranes, they got fucking several helicopters, 3 or 4 boats, because they got the boat they're on, they got the boat to shoot the boat they're on, they got the helicopter to shoot the helicopter so you can see they're in a helicopter. It's like fucking, the money these people spend is fucking phenomenal. It's fucking phenomenal amount of money in order to just tell you the most stupid and basic of facts. For example, a woman in this orbit show, she goes, all the way to the Bahamas, And when she gets there, she dives in the water, right? And she's diving. And of course, they've got to show some sharks, you know. Oh, look, sharks. Because, of course, you know, that's high on the BBC's list of what people are interested in. Sharks, dinosaurs. No. Got to get that in. But there's another big list as well. It's got to have a few of these other things, which will be coming. So it's like, oh, she's got a shark in there. And she's diving. Diving is interesting. Sharks are interesting. And what does she's come all this way, come out on the boat, they got all the boats to film the boats, and I'm just trying to bore you here, because I'm just trying to bore you with the long run up to the point which she's going to make, and the point is the water level has risen. Great. And then we're off to the next fucking big setup scene fucking shots. It's like, you know, then you know, she's kind of like parachuting. She's fucking parachuting out of a fucking aircraft, and she's like diving down to the ground, and then they got the planes, they got the multiple cameras from multiple parachuters, and as she's coming down on the parachute, she's going, oh, this is absolutely fantastic, it's absolutely fantastic. And when you see something like this, you realise the difference between the altitude of like up there and down near the ground. It's like, fuck's sake, do you really need to throw these cunts? And let's face it, the BBC do it on nearly every fucking show. I mean, you know, okay, they probably don't do it, you know, on nearly every show, but any show that's got anything to do with science or, you know, animals or anything like that that's out in a weird place, I mean, they'll chuck somebody out of a fucking aeroplane on a parachute. You know, it's like, here we are on a parachute coming down to the Crufts dog show. You know, it's like, you know, here we are in a helicopter, parachuting out of a helicopter, and we can see the dogs in the Dogs Crufts show. And when you are parachuting down, it really does make you appreciate just how big the Crufts dog show is. And it's like, fucks, you know, it's this formula is actually quite boring, because, I mean, we've all seen parachutes, we've all seen hot air balloons, we've all seen helicopters. It's the same fucking shit in every program. It gets a bit boring after a while, and it's like, you know, I turn on the telly, and it's like, oh, here we are, natural history program. Oh, where's the parachutes? Where's the sharks? Where's the lions? You know, where's the dinosaur footage? You know, and where's the cheesy fucking footage of planet Earth spinning around with the clouds up, moving across the top of it, all faked up? You know, it's like boring. And costs a fuckload of money to just send snobby, toffee, fucking nose twats a long way just to make really silly small points. Why not just say it and show a fucking photo? I mean, Christ, they're on about the reason. This is an important point just before I go. The reason they do this stuff is because they want to make the programs look interesting. But surely the amount of money it costs to do that is the reason why the BBC are cutting back, and they're actually repeating so many programmes. And fuck me, right? I've noticed in the last week since turning on, it's like I've turned on one night, it's like Top Gear, and I turn on the next night, and it's like, oh, Top Gear, and it's like I turn on the next night, it's Top Gear. It's the same fucking show. 3 nights in a row. Hang on a minute, television never used to be like this. What the fuck's gone wrong? It's like, okay, I've left the scene. I've left the scene. I don't know what television has become like, but fuck me, it's become really fucking bad. I don't know whether any of you notice this shit, because, you know, it's been with you all the time, so it's been changing and modifying, and maybe you haven't noticed, but for me, fuck me, it looks really bad. It looks really fucking cheesy, right? And repeating programs, repeat. So I thought, well, how bad are these repeats? And I looked it up on the internet. Turns out, check this out, 61% of programming in any one day is repeats on the BBC, right? That's their own admission. 61% of all programming is repeats. Okay? So you're paying the tax fucking payers money to get this shit, right? And you're paying for all these channels. You've got BBC One, BBC Two, BBC Three, BBC4, yeah, you got all those fucking channels, and then you got all the ITV channels, right, and they repeat what +1 and all that sort of shit, right, you got all that, and what are they doing? They're repeating all the programmes. So guess what you could do? If you want to save some money, BBC, guess what you could do? Not repeat 50% of the programmes that you're repeating at the moment. Don't repeat them, okay? So don't repeat 50% of the programmes you're repeating at the moment, and halve the amount of TV channels you've got. And then it'd still be enough programming on to fill the airwaves, but you don't need maybe BBC3 and BBC4, because if you're repeating the same fucking content 61%, then surely you could repeat nothing and fucking wipe out half the fucking TV channels. It doesn't take a genius to work it out. Fucking hell. And they still close at night anyway. It's like they repeat all this fucking programming, yeah, and they've still got to shut down at night because they reckon there's nobody watching. Fuck off. I'm really glad. When my fucking hard drive is finished offloading, which is taking an absolute age, I'm going to be so glad to have something else to do, right, apart from that. And that fucking thing over there, right, is going back to fucking sleep, because I cannot stand the bullshit of TV. And quite frankly, I'd rather download the fucker. So, if you've been watching, thank you very much. And goodbye for now.